Hello everybody, welcome back to Trentino for the 14th round of the FIA Motocross World Championship. We are in Italy at the Ciclamino circuit here, just north of Lake Garda. And you know what, the Italian GP in all forms, whether it's GP of Italy, Lombardia and all the rest of it, it's taken place at 35 different locations since 1958. 14 of them have been here in Arco di Trento, whether you count MX2 and MXGP as one. We've had 24 different winners in total. Individually, there have been 12 different winners, so Herlings on 4, Cairoli, Gajser also have 4 wins apiece, Jorge Prado has 3, and there are others as well. But in terms of manufacturers, KTM lead the way with 12 wins over Honda. Yamaha have 3 wins. Kawasaki have never won at Trentino in either MX2, MXGP, 500, 125, or whatever classifications. And Romain Febvre, just like Spain a week ago, will be hoping to change that stat. As the atmosphere starts to build here, those guys are still bathing in glorious sunshine over there, the smart Slovenians. The Italians over here on Cairoli Hill, they're the ones in the mountain shade, and you can really sense the atmosphere again starting to build ahead of MXGP Race 2. The riders working their way towards the end of their sighting lap. And before we go anywhere else, Jason Thomas and I will just bring you some highlights from MXGP Race 1. Here's how it went. MXGP Race 1 earlier on in the day here at Trentino. Jeremy Seewer, about 12 or 13 gates over, pulled his first Fox Holeshot of the campaign. He was closely followed by Ben Watson, his teammate, who fell towards the end of the first lap. Herlings was in third, but he got duffed up by Prado on the exit, but he was able to capitalize really, really quickly and find his way back past the Spaniard. Tonus was in there, Gajser was in there. Tony Cairoli fell on the opening lap after getting landed on by Matis Borromei. Has a big dead leg coming into this second race. Did not finish race 1, by the way, Tony Cairoli, but Cairoli, there was Watson going down at the bottom of the hill, but how good was Febvre on that opening lap?
Yeah, so much intensity early, especially on a really tricky racetrack, and we see Tony Cairoli there kind of limping as he gets off the bike. But this was Febvre early, making moves, trying to get past Herlings, failed move, and you wonder, was that the difference in the race? Because he didn't make that pass stick.
At that point, he started to leave the door open. Gajser was almost through. That was one of several attempts on that part of the racetrack where they thought he'd gone through. Then, lap 12, Herlings finally broke the chink in the armor of Seewer, got alongside. He still had work to do by the end of pit lane, but he did, and that was it. Lap 12 of 20, Herlings took over the lead. Prado crashed out of 5th place, eventually came home in 8th position. And then the battle for second was on. Seewer, Febvre, and Gajser. Seewer did a great job of hanging on, by the way.
He did. Really smart ride. Protected all the lines when he needed to. And honestly, his pace was great because you see Herlings just ahead there the entire time.
Yeah, the gap between first, second, third, fourth at the end. Herlings victorious by 2 seconds. All 4 riders finishing about 4 seconds apart. So your winner from race 1, Jeffrey Herlings, Seewer second, Febvre third, Gajser fourth. And let's go down to Lisa. And I believe she caught up with Jeremy Seewer and Alessandro Lupino. So let's hear what those guys have to say ahead of race 2.
MXGP Race 2 is about to start. Let's speak to home hero Alessandro Lupino. Alessandro, it's a new look for the team, isn't it? You've got the white KTM, the white kit, and it represents the Italian flag. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm honored to use Italian flag, especially for the Italy GP. We are lucky we have 5 rounds this year, end of the season. So thanks to just one that he make this nice gear, and I like it. It's cool to have it.
It looks great. Enjoy your home GP.
Thank you.
The next rider I'd like to speak to is Jeremy Seewer. Jeremy, so far so good. Obviously, I don't want to speak too soon. You took pole position, you had a whole shot, great result in that second race. Things at the moment are coming together for you.
They definitely are, and it's good to be there, you know, like one more to go now, so it's not over, but it's an amazing day, you know. As I said, a few weeks ago, I started to feel better. I'm on my way back, and now to be in that mix is amazing, you know. Okay, I don't have much to say in the championship, but I just want to finish it off strong and go out there, enjoy, have fun, do my best, and yeah, battle for the lead. That's what I want.
And just quickly, obviously you were leading for I think around 12 laps. You had Jeffrey Herlings on your back wheel. How did you feel?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. I had a good flow. I was enjoying, you know, it felt good. I didn't make too many mistakes. Jeffrey just got me really surprisingly. He had a super quick line, and I didn't really hear him coming, and tack, he was there. So because after that he wasn't like pulling away and stuff, but you know, I still got to be happy, and I look forward for the next moto and try to do the same.
Have a great second race. Thanks, Jeremy. Good luck there to Jeremy and all the guys here. It's time for MXGP Race 2.
Let's take a look at the top 5 in the championship heading into MXGP Race 2 at Trentino as the sun starts to disappear behind the mountains and the air turns a little bit chilly. Jeffrey Herlings leads now by 17 over Romain Febvre. Gajser 5 further back, so 22 between the first two. Prado and Cairoli now almost certainly out of it as we enter the last 4 rounds from Wednesday, and obviously there's still unfinished business here today. Take a look at the start list. This is how they line up after time practice earlier today. Same as race 1, race 2. Jason Thomas, first race, bit of a slow burner, but the racing was intense between Siwa, Herlings, Febvre and Gajser, wasn't it?
Well, we had a perfect situation for an epic battle that kind of never materialized. It was a lot of follow the leader, and I'm sure both Tim Gajser and Romain Febvre were frustrated that they couldn't get to the front and do more with it. But let's hope that we get another start like that, because I think the potential for all those guys being in the mix is there.
Well, Jeremy Siwa got off to a flying start. He was the rider that crossed the Holeshot line first, ahead of everybody else for his first Holeshot of the season. The mountains are in the shade, finally, here at Trentino. And the riders will definitely feel that whilst they're waiting to go to the line down there just in front of the skybox area. There's Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. His first race was his 11th race win of the campaign. He's on 184 race wins now. Can he make it 185 here in race 2, or will Tim Gajser, Romain Febvre, Jeremy Siwa and the rest have something to say about it? Tony Cairoli will line up for race 2, by the way. It is a dead leg that he picked up, but he's okay, he's cleared to ride.
Hard to replicate the feelings and the emotion going through these guys, their minds right now. There's really nothing else like it. It's exciting, but it's also so nerve-wracking, and all of the work, your whole life really leads up to these moments, and it's really hard to be clear-headed and focused right now because there's so much going on.
How relaxed is Jeremy Siwa, just having a little wave at the camera? But I was every week.
I was not that guy. I don't even think I could have made that Shaka sign that he did because I was so nervous in those moments. But yeah, I think it's probably better to be looser like that.
Tony Cairoli obviously picking up a knock to the leg in that first race after, I believe it was Mathis Boisramé who landed on him. So your buddy reckons anyway.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, that there are so many Italians here looking for another epic 2017 type day from Tony Cairoli. Maybe he can get a start here and give them something to shout about. But he looked great in time qualifying, so there, was looking optimistic, and then he goes down in the first lap.
David Philippart's there, number 15, the former world champion. Josh Gilbert, the 326, Jose Boutron, Sean Simpson, Van Donnick didn't finish race 1. There's Strybos, Ben Watson, Benoit Pacharel, Guillaume, Jacobi, Olsen, Sever Brulikov, Bogas. Then we've got Coldenhoff, Boisramé, the 2 KTMs, Cairoli and Prado. And the rest of the big hitters down here on the inside. Tom Cock had a good ride in the first race there on the Cossack KTM, the number 226.
Interesting to see Gajser and Herlings start next to each other. Could be good, could be bad, right? You typically would see those guys avoid each other.
And just picking up on that, Tom Cock, 11th in race 1. Over there on the right-hand side, the 226. Obviously got a great start and managed to hold on and deal with it very well. The Fly Racing 15-second board up. That turns to 5. And who is it going to be that grabs that all-important Holeshot here? Good jumps. Gajser banging bars, and he gets pushed back, and so too does Herlings. Oh, we've got riders down. Bogas is in there.
Doesn't look like any of the championship contenders, but both Herlings and Gajser were tangling up with each other, which is what I was kind of alluding to, as they both ruined each other's race.
Jacobi leading the way. Febvre there in second. How crucial is that for him in terms of the championship? And where is Herlings, by the way? Herlings down here in 12th place, so he's only got 17 points over Febvre, and he is the one that's made the best start, and he's looking to push away into the lead on the opening lap. A good start for Coldenhoff.
Herlings and Gajser 12 and 13, and that's why you typically don't start next to the championship contenders, because both of you can ruin each other. This is the perfect opportunity for Romain Febvre. If he wanted a chance back into this championship, the time is now. He's got to make a quick move on Jacobi and get to the front.
Romain Febvre down the inside of Jacobi. At the first time of asking, takes over the Cairoli down again. Him and Van Hoorbeek in Cairoli corner. Meanwhile, the riders that went down at the first turn, Strybos, Bogas and Olsen, and Prado has had a poor first lap as well. So the 61 down in 24th place. But Jacobi, old Kevin, 29, having a good start. He's been pushed back to third immediately as Coldenhoff goes through. But Romain Febvre, he knows he's in a fantastic position. He can't see the championship leader anywhere around him. He'll get a pit board this time around saying exactly what the situation is. But what a start for the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider.
Yeah, great opportunity here for Coldenhoff, too. He's had a really tough season. I don't think he's been anywhere near his own personal expectations, but you look at who's behind him, even the riders that are already out, the likes of Prado and Cairoli. This is a great chance for him to end up on the podium in race 2.
Get him over the line this first time, because it would have shuffled. At the first split, coming out of the first turn, Herlings was in 12th, Gajser was 13th, Van Hoorbeek was 14th, Cairoli was 17th. And obviously those two crashing together somewhere around the first lap up by the Monster Energy station. But Febvre leads, not by much, over Glenn Coldenhoff. Jacobi third, Petrel fourth. Ben Watson, another good start for him. He finds himself in fifth, ahead of Tim Gajser, who has recovered well to sixth. Bridikoff is seventh. Herlings is in 8th place. We're going to have another cracking race here, I think, Jason Thomas.
Well, you see Febvre look behind him just to see who's back there, right? And he had to love what he sees. He sees Coldenhoff and Jacobi. Doesn't see anybody that's relevant in the championship, so he should be able to ride loosely here. And all those shadows we were talking about earlier are now gone, right? The sun has gone behind one of the Dolomites, and it's actually ideal now. They can see, and everything should be much easier on that front.
The sun has gone behind one of the Dolomites.
Yeah, but
which one?
Right, and you can see the sun in the background there, how bright it is and how distinct that change would be. So this is actually a godsend for these guys.
Yeah, Glenn Coldenhoff looking good here. He was what, 5th in race 1, and then here he is trying to close down on Romain Febvre in the early stages. The gap between, and the only reason why we mention this, Romain Febvre and Jeffrey Herlings in 8th, because Herlings, the championship leader, here he is coming up the hill now. He's quickly making light work. He's around the outside of Watson. It will probably make him work, but there may be a pass at the bottom of the hill here by the number 84, and there is. So that's into 5th place, maybe.
And Gajser had made a move away from our cameras here, and he's the next rider directly in front of Herlings, so he's going to be very mindful of that and try to go with him as they move towards the front.
So he needed to put in some blistering laps. He has done that. Where was he on the opening lap? 8th, thereabouts. He was probably a bit further down before at the split, wasn't it? And but he's making good work here. Yeah, but there's Jacobi third.
He and Gajser were 12 and 13, rounding the first lap there. So they've already made some moves, but a long way to go.
Drop that bug. Just got attacked here by a big giant bug.
Visitor to the booth here.
Benoit Paturel, another solid start for him. We saw this, was it France or in Spain? One of the races where Benoit Paturel.
That was nice there. Gajser doubles down the hill. Not able to make the move yet on Paturel, but it set him up to almost make a pass. And you just see there, this track is so difficult, the angles that the corners end up in it. Unless you have the perfect line, you can't really make a move.
Tim Gajser looking desperate to find his way past Benoit Paturel. He knows that Romain Febvre is pulling away from him. That's his closest rival in the championship, almost off the side of the bike there. The back just kicked to the left.
Watch for him go outside and try to square him up, and it's really challenging. You just can't get enough traction to make a move like that work.
How good a lap has this been from the number 84, because he's broken free from Ben Watson, and he's now all over the back. You may just see him come into view any moment now behind the 243 from Team HRC, Tim Gajser. 3 Hondas line astern there. The lead one is the private JM Honda of Jackie Martins of Jacobi, as Gajser forces his way around the outside of the Frenchman Benoit Paturel and into 4th place.
Really important for Gajser to make that pass stick there.
David Philipparts, I think, just yielding there, the number 15. He's obviously been off. Yes, I did say David Philipparts back from a retirement ride this weekend. Said he thought it might be fun, but maybe not so fun anymore, picking himself up off this hard surface in Trentino. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Herlings closing in on Benoit Paturel, the Honda SR Moto Blues rider. Another fantastic start for the Frenchman.
Paturel, notoriously difficult to pass here, so Herlings can't waste time. Gajser's already made the move, so he needs to basically move quickly so he can keep the toe on Gajser.
Championship back down to 7 points at the moment as it stands right now. 5:45 to 5:38. Herlings and Febvre. The difference at 25 points can make. And Febvre only, what, 1.2 seconds clear of Glenn Coldenhoff, but they are 6 seconds clear of everybody else.
And Febvre goes his fastest lap of the race, the last lap. So I think he's riding comfortably. I don't think he fears Coldenhoff so much over the course of 35 minutes. He's just going to try to find out where, if he can see Gajser and Herlings anywhere on the racetrack and gauge those guys' progress, which he probably got a glimpse of the high vis there of Gajser.
The high vis coming towards us, shining like a beacon light as he goes around the outside of Jacobi, bottom of the hill. Herlings around the outside of Paturel, but
Gajser having a tough time with Jacobi. Jacobi really tough to pass as well. We've seen over the years, and just block. He's got to make the move here. You see Jacobi will push him wide again.
Jacobi needs to be careful here. Privateer Honda, factory Honda around the outside, but different teams.
I don't know that careful is in his vocabulary, but he does make a little bit of room there. So
Gajser charges down the inside of Jacobi, takes over 3rd place. Herlings past Paturel into 5th. I mean, 5th place is not a bad place to start, is it? Or 8th place is not a bad start, but for these guys, it's absolutely crucial to be 1st, 2nd, or 3rd when they talk about a good start.
Well, and they're probably looking, you know, both Gajser and Herlings have probably looked ahead where they've had an opportunity to see where Febvre is, and if they see him out front, that's going to raise the level of urgency. You see Gajser look over on that finish line jump trying to see who's next, and at some point they're going to see Romain Febvre out front, which is only going to push them further.
So Febvre leads, Coldenhoff 2nd. Gajser just there, doubling nicely down that hill in 3rd place. Jacobi is 4th, Herlings is 5th. Wonder how big the German's elbows are. We'll soon find out, because he's got Herlings all over the back of him. Is there going to be a pass in this corner, yes or no?
Remember the comments from Motocross of Nations, Jacobi talking about he gave Herlings a little bit more trouble than most would, and I'm sure Herlings is probably like, can I have no trouble this time? I really would like to go around you.
Cut back to the inside here, maybe?
This outside, I just don't know that this outside works. Jacobi moves over.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just buried the wheel deep into that outside turn and just breezed around Jacobi, moves into 4th place.
Yeah, that almost seemed like Jacobi kind of let him have it, which is not generally in his character, but I mean, he completely let off the throttle on the inside.
So all change again then. Wasn't a great start for some of our main protagonists, but Febvre 1.5 seconds clear, and it's good that Glenn Coldenhoff on the Monster Energy Yamaha is still there within that 1.5 second range to keep Febvre occupied, to keep his pace up.
Yeah,
because
it'll be interesting to see
to be relaxed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these next laps bring, because Febvre and Coldenhoff are running 42s and 43s, while Herlings and Gajser have been 43s, 44s. You see Febvre go fastest again with a 42.3, so they're pushing. I'm sure that Romain could probably see those guys and wants to make sure that he doesn't make it a 3-way battle at any point.
Jeremy Seaver has found his way into 7th. He's found his way past his teammate. That's the lead Yamaha riding coming towards the finish line now. Then there's Watson, and then just behind them, another good start for the Cossack KTM of Tom Cock. It'll be 7th overall for him. But Seaver, where was he in race 1? Second place in race 1. Obviously, one of those riders not making the best of the start is going to be off the podium as it stands. He's only 2 points off of it, though. Coldenhoff Gajser tied on 38. He's on 36, and he's got traffic ahead of him. Could still find his way onto the box. There's Jacobi just jumping out of sight, and then Paturel, and then you've got Seaver here. So 5th, 6th, and 7th, all pretty much on the same bit of racetrack, and Seaver looking good even in this second race.
Yeah, and if Seaver could get past these two, 2.5 would do pretty nicely on the day. I don't think there's a great chance of him going up and catching Herlings, but yeah, from what we've seen from him so far this season, this would be a huge step forward.
Did make the podium earlier on in the year, but Czech Republic, similar ground to this. Not sure if you've ever been to Loket, but very similar. Hard, rocky, loose shale on top. Obviously comfortable in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, and then, you know, obviously his health is much better. You can see the intensity, he's returned to his riding, and that, you know, race 1, he was strong all the way to the finish. So it's nice to have Jeremy Seaver back. It just adds another contender at the front that can win races.
Last time around, lap 5, Tim Gajser put the fastest lap of the race. He was the only guy to go into the 41s.
that was what I was kind of alluding to last lap, is once they got clear, what kind of pace did they actually have under the hood? So now the question is, how much time can they make up?
Another fastest lap for Tim Gajser, 1:40.6 compared to the 41.9 of Febvre here, number 3, and the 42.5 of Coldenhoff. The gap between first and third is 7 seconds. Herlings, 3 or 4 seconds behind Tim Gajser that time around. There's Gajser bottom left.
So this is really important. The Kawasaki team has to let Romain Febvre know that these guys are coming while there's time to do something about it. If they wait a few more laps and the gap's closing down, it's almost too late. If they let him know now, he can push in his best laps of the race and maybe maintain this gap.
Jeremy Seewer all over the back of Benoit Paturel as he looks to push into 6th position. As the championship stands, though, we arrived here, Herlings 12 points clear of Febvre, Gajser another 3 points further back. After race 1, Herlings had improved to 17 points. Cairoli out of this one. He will need to get some serious treatment on that leg ahead of Wednesday's Grand Prix here at Trentino.
Yeah, tough day for 222. It looked great this morning, great times, great pace, and then just all came apart.
Seewer and Paturel very, very close. The Frenchman knows that the Swiss rider is there, goes to defend, but an easy pass in the end for Jeremy Seewer as he moves into 6th place.
Nice ride from Seewer. Paturel deserves some credit here too, hanging around, top 6, 7. But I really like what I'm seeing from Seewer. This is what we expected all year long, and it's finally arriving.
Yeah, the intensity, the aggressive riding has come back to the Swiss. But just going back to what we said about the championship, Herlings only 10 points clear now, so he's gone from 12 to 17 and down to 10 in the space of 2 30-minute motos.
Yeah, but for breathing life back into the series for Romain Febvre, this is exactly what he needs. But he's got to be careful here. You see the lead down to 6 seconds now. We're not even halfway yet. There's so much time left in this race, so Febvre needs to focus. I know he probably feels comfortable with Coldenhoff back there, but he should not. He really needs to push the pace right now.
So Febvre continues to lead. He's 2.7 seconds ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff. Gajser closing in quicker than the Dutchman again. Herlings 9.9 seconds off the lead. He's in 4th place. Then we've got Jacobi here and Jeremy Seewer. This is 5th and 6th. Then we've got Paturel 7. Ben Watson 8. Good recovery from him after starting 2nd in race 1, falling outside, 24th, 25th, coming back to sort of 15th place at the flag, and then having another good top 10 ride here. Tom Koch is 9th, Alessandro Lupino 10th. We've got Romain, Guillaume, Tonus, Lorenzo Lacurcio for JD Gunnex. He's in 14th position ahead of his teammate. Joe Jose Boutron, then Josh Gilbert, Simpson, 17, Jonas and Bogas and Prado. Bogas getting caught in the first turn crash.
Well, we've seen issues for riders like Cairoli and Prado and TKO. That's opening the door for some of these other guys to get in there and get some points. So you've got to take advantage of the opportunities when in front of you. We see TKO there and Prado basically battling way out of the pack there.
Down the inside of Jorge Prado. I wonder how injured Prado is after he stepped off on the downhill in race 1.
Yeah, both of these guys are outside the top 20 right now, so frustrating race 2.
In fact, Prado just moves, Olsen moves into 20th place. Right, what happened here? This is Seewer on Jacobi. Jacobi just running it wide, so up into 5th place. So Seewer could find himself on the podium next time around, maybe. But unfortunately for him, Coldenhoff and Gajser are also occupying 3rd and 4th, same points. Let's see what it will bring this time around, because obviously they're ahead of him in the race as well, don't forget. So Coldenhoff. Yeah, all three equal, 38, 38, 38, Coldenhoff, Gajser, Seewer. So for Seewer to get himself on the podium, he needs to close down an 11-second gap to Jeffrey Herlings and make the pass.
Well, this has been a really good ride for Coldenhoff. We haven't seen him a whole lot on camera, but even if Gajser is able to come up and make a move here, this is one of the best rides of the season for him. And it's been a tough season, make no mistake, for Glenn Coldenhoff. I believe he was 8th in points coming in, but this was a rider that a lot of people were looking for. I know that, Monster Energy Yamaha was looking for him to be in this championship contention, and he hasn't been. So nice to see a new face at the front, too.
Right, Tim Gajser, Team HRC. Here he is, closing in on the Hoff, just the other side of the city step down there. 42.259 for Coldenhoff last time around. 41.861 for Gajser as he gets closer to the back of that Monster Energy Yamaha ahead of him.
See Gajser take a look over at the pit board. You know, usually you'll see what kind of lap time you're holding there, and you're trying to hold a certain lap time, which is probably, he's looking for a 41 or a 42 at worst each time he comes around.
But how good is this championship now, though? We're still 4 rounds to go after this. 2 here, 2 in Mantova. You still can't separate the top 3 in the title chase. And it's concertina back and forth, as we said. 12 points between first and second at the start of the day. Went out to 17 after the first race. Now down to 10 between Herlings and Febvre. Gajser only another 10 points further back. So that's been the biggest swing. Is like from first to third is now 20 points. It was 15.
Well, and you know, it just felt after race 1 an hour ago that it really felt like Herlings was starting to take control of the series a little bit. And then now we're halfway through race 2, and it feels a little bit different again, right? And we're getting that ebb and flow back and forth.
Just look at the first sectors. Febvre, Coldenhoff, Gajser, Herlings. 26, 26.1, 25.9, 25.7. So pulling a couple tenths back on the Honda man is the bullet. Then we go 26.7, 26.8, and then 26.3, 26.4. So very similar between those two. Romain Febvre, Monster Energy Kawasaki, bottom of the hill. Now that he's, well, he had about a 2.5 second gap. It's now down to about 1.9. So he can't afford to switch off, not with 13 plus 2 to go, because he would be in danger of losing the Grand Prix, which he currently is on the top step at the moment with a third and a first. And Coldenhoff is getting closer once again as they drop downhill.
And surely Febvre's aware now. He would be able to see Tim Gajser closing. So it's now or never. He's got to push the pace. But honestly, it's almost too late now. You know,
Where has he made the mistake, though?
No, I think it's just he's just been a half a second off every lap, and Gajser's closed in and closed in and closed in. And he's cut with 7 seconds. Now we're down to what, 2.8, you know, and it's just methodical move to the front, and it's allowed actually push Coldenhoff back to the front too.
But this is the, well, that's what I'm saying, like, you know, the gap's coming down. There's not been any real big jump, has there, between Romain Febvre and the other. It's just, like you say, they're just pushing onto him now, and the urgency with Coldenhoff.
Well, and I wonder, you know, he took a few looks back early on in the race, and he saw, I don't think he felt anyone was a threat. Was he too complacent at that time, right? Instead of, you know, kind of taking the race, charge of the race and putting in your best laps and building up a 15-second lead, I think he was really patient, thinking that those guys were really far back, and now he's going to have a battle on his hands.
There's your first 4. Oh, and a mistake there for Febvre. He was up the bank and off the bank and all sorts, and it's allowed Coldenhoff to move in, but he can't quite make the pass happen in that bottom left-hander, and all of a sudden, yeah, now a nervous look over the shoulder from Febvre as Coldenhoff switches to the inside. It was untidy, but he manages to hold on to that second place. He lost ground in the meantime.
And Febvre just looks uncomfortable to me. You know, in the race 1, he was so much intensity and so much aggression, and it's the opposite of that. It's mistake after mistake after mistake, like he has arm pump almost, where he just can't push.
I was just looking at the bottom of the hill there as he just ran wide, not just once but twice now in 3-4 corners. I think arm pump is creeping into Romain Febvre's game, and all of a sudden these guys are closing in because he's having problems steering the front end there.
Well, and he's one of the most precise riders I've ever seen, and he's doing anything but that right now. He's making mistakes. He doesn't look like he can put the front tire exactly where he wants it, which is typical arm pump, you know, behavior. So this is not the situation you want with arm pump. You know, 2 of the best riders in the history of the sport creeping in on you.
The first 4 riders now separated by less than 3 seconds. Coldenhoff is going to be knocking on the door of the Kawasaki the first. Watch, well, he's not getting down there, nor is Coldenhoff, but Gajser is, and he will be back on the rear wheel of the Hoft at the bottom of the hill, and Herlings is right there with them. Wow.
Remember, Febvre, if it is an arm pump situation, he had arm pump surgery, you know, recently to try to alleviate some of this stuff, so there's a lot happening there, yeah.
Fans are getting a race here.
And Herlings has now closed up the gap too, so we've got maybe the battle we were looking for.
Gajser looking to try and sweep around the outside. He cuts it back to the inside. Oh, they almost touch. He almost takes second away. That's playing perfectly into the hands of the rider at the back of the shot in 4th, number 84.
Yeah, and Herlings smells blood now. We still have 10 minutes plus 2 to go here.
Look at that intuitive line there from Jeffrey Herlings. He didn't go deep. He just kind of cornered midway through. Got good drive. And he is closing in, hand over fist now on these riders. And he's down the inside of Gajser. Will he cut to the inside? He thought about it. Gajser knows he's there. He's already on the defensive.
Yeah, you see how patient Gajser was there to make sure that Herlings couldn't cut back under him.
What a championship we are having. What a race we're having here in Trentino, race 2. It will determine the overall classification. As it stands right now, Febvre 45, Herlings 43, Coldenhoff and Gajser 38. That will all change in the next 9 minutes plus 2 laps, I'm sure. Kawasaki have never won at Trentino in MX2 or MXGP, and Gajser and Herlings make a mistake coming out of the turn, and it's Herlings, though, who does make the pass eventually. Herlings into third.
Well, and Gajser probably can't believe this because he was closing in on the lead a lap ago, 2 laps ago, and now he's being passed.
Less than 9 minutes to go. Herlings was buried on the opening lap. Well, he has pulled his way through. He is in contention for the race win, the overall Grand Prix victory. He's first got to find his way past Coldenhoff and a nervous-looking Romain Febvre who keeps looking over his shoulder.
Well, the incredible part of this is Coldenhoff, just like Sewer in race 1, is the spoiler. He's the one that's, we haven't talked about for the championship. We really didn't expect to be here.
Oh, and we got a lead change.
And look at the move.
Coldenhoff dives down the inside of Febvre, who looks to respond immediately. He is all at sea. He's on the ropes as Herlings looks to go around the outside of the Kawasaki now. Another look over the shoulder from Febvre. Fans absolutely loving this. They are animated, and Gajser almost into the rear wheel of Herlings.
Oh, the outside doesn't work for Herlings. Their big mistake allows Gajser to close back in. These guys are all on the limit right now.
Gajser looking to rebound. He tries to stay low. Can't get up the inside of the KTM man.
Yeah, Febvre looks like he's the one under the most arrest here. Everybody else seems to be charging forward.
Here we go. Here's the pass for second. There will be a cutback here from the Kawasaki, and there is. He will out-drag the KTM man. He's got to land it first, though. He was almost back to the moon as Herlings buries it around the outside. He's going to lose a position here to Gajser if he's not careful.
Really nice effort to fight back there, though.
Scrappy through the final 2 turns between the 3 and the 84. Playing perfectly into the hands of Coldenhoff as well, who's just creeping ahead. Look, 1.5 seconds or thereabouts.
Gajser sitting behind both of these going, please crash. Please, both of you crash.
Once again, the first 3 in the championship, except it's second, first and third, are second, third and fourth in the race. How much of this can Febvre take? There's still 7 minutes plus 2. If he was struggling with arm pump, there's no way he can sustain this type of increase in pressure.
Well, and he has to be just completely blown away that Coldenhoff made that move. I don't think he expected that at all.
Oh, I tell you what, they were very close, those two. As Herlings continues to push the envelope, he's going to make the move here. He does. He goes into second place. Febvre from first to third in a couple of laps. And Gajser goes through as well, but not for long.
Febvre made a big mistake on the outside there and allowed Gajser to go through, but the momentum coming out of that outside just allowed him to propel right back up the hill.
Oh, I tell you what, he almost lost the front on the way out of there, didn't he? That's how hard the Red Bull KTM is pushing.
And this is the battle we thought we were going to get in race 1. Finally, it's arrived.
But Febvre will look at this as an opportunity lost right now. He had 10 points deficit after it was 17 in race 1. He's just given away 2 points.
Herlings makes a huge mistake before the finish line there.
Things are settling down. 4 seconds between the first 4 riders. The Hoff 2 seconds clear of Herlings, who's just out of sight there. Then we've got Febvre and Gajser. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for Sewer to come over the line in 5th. Jacobi, Petrel, Watson, Koch and Romain. He is in 10th position ahead of Guillaume, Tonus, Jonas, Lucurcio, Simpson and Lupino, with Bogas, Boutron, Prado and Olsen rounding out the top 20. Gajser. Is this plan D or plan E? Because he's still struggling to find his way past the number 3 of Romain Febvre. The pass of Coldenhoff and Herlings were more effective.
Yeah, desperate to get around here. I just don't know, is there a plan, right? Is it plan D, plan E? He's got to really get creative and think about, okay, where is Romain planning on me making a move and where am I going to go instead?
utilising that outside line. Remember, we've got 2 more rounds of this, Wednesday, of course, and Sunday at the end of this week, for rounds 15 and 16 of the 18-round series. Good line choice there for Gajser, as Coldenhoff now under pressure from his fellow countryman. The gap was 2.03 seconds. It's not that now.
Jeffrey,
oh, how dangerous is that outside line looking now?
Jeffrey looks great here. Looks confident and closing down the gap. The question is, you know, how many laps do we have left? 4, maybe. So he's going to have to think about where to make a move, but he looks really, really strong at this point of the race.
Gajser, Febvre seems to have recovered at the moment. Either that or he's just struggling to keep Gajser back there and doing all he can to hold on to that 3rd place, because this is going to be 19 points now, the gap between 1st and 2nd in the championship. Gajser still doubling downhill. And you see the difference it makes as well. Yeah,
it's really tough being right behind a rider. He's been losing time coming out of the corner. Executes at that time pretty well, but it's really tough to be right on somebody's wheel there.
Whoa.
You see Febvre being a little bit defensive there, trying to squeeze Tim Gajser a little bit.
Gajser going to go to the inside here. Is he going to cut back at the end of the straight or use that outside line like that? But to better use, and it came almost to these two colliding in that far corner, but he goes around the outside, cuts to the inside, pushes Febvre wide. The 2 lines went into 1. He had to be aggressive. He moves into 3rd place, does Tim Gajser.
Yeah, that move had to be made. I mean, it was clean, right? A little bit of contact, but I mean, that's what this track takes right now. You have to be aggressive.
The Slovenian fans, the Italian fans, the French fans, whoever's here, absolutely getting an epic treat here in Trentino.
Now, what does Gajser have left? Does he have anything left to go chase the leaders down with?
I think he's already lost too much time. He may be able to find himself onto Coldenhoff, possibly. Right, to get the riders over the line. Coldenhoff continues to lead. Herlings now about a second apart. There they are. This is a great race for Glenn Coldenhoff.
Yeah, what Gajser needs here is for Coldenhoff to hold Herlings up, them get into some sort of battle that slows their lap time down and allows Gajser to close back in. Otherwise, these guys have kind of ridden off into the sunset a bit.
Coldenhoff, how neat was that? Just off balance on the exit of the turn as well.
That's exactly what you need. You see Herlings lose traction, so if Gajser can put in his best laps the next 3 laps, there's a chance he could be there by the end.
He led Majora, didn't he? But then he just tightened up in the second half of the race before losing that lead. Glenn Coldenhoff in the mud, remember, here, hard, fast, slick, dry. Herlings has got a good line around here, but it's not working now, though. Monster Energy Yamaha, the factory KTM Red Bull machine, they almost touch as well. Hard on the brakes, slowing it up through that tight left. Good effort this from the 259. He has to go defensive down the inside, but how defensive do you go? That middle line carries more momentum, and this outside line, just look how untidy that bank is as well. But he gets good drive, good momentum. Couldn't make that tight right, had to run it in behind the Hoff.
And you see Glenn's fully committing. He never even considered checking up there, so Jeffrey's going to have to take it away from him if he wants it.
There's Gajser in the background. He was about 3 seconds behind these guys at the start of the lap. A couple of braking bumps there that he didn't want to hit necessarily. Glenn Coldenhoff.
And Glenn's riding really well. You see how he floated through that corner. There's no hesitation, no hitch in his corner. This is the best I've seen him ride probably all year.
Yeah, and he's not had a race win really since Latvia last year when he was on the gas. Nothing in it between them though. Less than a second as they cross the line. Good recovery for Brian Bogers, by the way. Sets his fastest lap last time around as he moves up into 13th for standing construct gas. Behind his teammate once again, Jonas. He went down at the first turn. So a good recovery for him. Oh, Gajser getting closer.
See that last lap, he does a 41.6, closed in second and a half over Coldenhoff. So this is exactly what Jeffrey didn't want to happen. What I was alluding to earlier, if they lost their pace and allowed Gajser to put in clean laps, he would close the gap back down.
These guys are absolutely on the limit. Good to see Coldenhoff up there as well. joining the party as the back end just lights up a little bit too much. Again, Herlings has to chuck his KTM into that turn.
He's going to go outside here, but this outside's been really slow all afternoon.
Is he going to get the drive? I think there was a mistake there from the Hoff. He does, and he can control the inside unless the Dutchman behind him can now cut back. He tries, but
nice
all of a sudden,
there.
lap 18, Herlings is your new leader.
Takes the long way around on a line I said was slow, but he made it work.
Can he stay ahead of Tim Gajser? Romain Febvre has been dropped 3 seconds at the start of the lap. The gap, watch this here. Goes around the outside, gets a drive. Didn't get clean out of there, Hoff, and that allowed Herlings just to stay cleaner, run alongside him, control the inside, and that was a pass for the lead. They love it. Oh, not loving that.
Yeah, Jeffrey wants no part of Tim Gajser getting into this battle, so you can see him just pushing, he's doubling down, which he really hasn't been doing very often in the moto.
And I think he picked up on that line by being behind Gajser earlier on in the race before he made his pass.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these lines were, I really think they came from the bad start. He had to get creative moving from 12th on the first lap to the front, and it probably served him well as he got behind Coldenhoff to get a little bit creative and to make a pass for the lead.
Gajser going after Coldenhoff here. This is a battle for second position. Down the back straight, we've seen so much drama down here, the back end, kicking across the left on the Yamaha as he came into that turn, managing to hold on. I'm not sure why he's going inside here. He lost out a lap ago to Herlings, and he almost loses out to Gajser there as well.
I wonder if he can get closer next lap, if he can just bump Coldenhoff out of the way the same way he did with Febvre.
This is for second overall, by the way. These two tied on 38.
See Kevin Strybus going a lap down there.
He crashed at the first turn as well at the start of the race. Can Coldenhoff hang on to this second place and second overall in the Grand Prix? Will Gajser have something to say about it? We are entering the final lap in a few corners' time. Herlings had 1.4 seconds over these two at the start of the lap. It's a very similar margin right now. He knows he can't afford to relax, and nor too can Coldenhoff. Entering the final lap then here, the MXGP of Trentino. The gap just 2 seconds between Herlings and Coldenhoff. The Gajser fans are in the house, urging their man on into that second place. It'll be the second step of the podium, and crucial 2 more points in the championship chase. Couldn't make it over the double there. You see how far wide he had to be. Is there going to be any more drama in the last lap here at Trentino? Back end lighting up on the Kawasaki of Febvre as he loses more ground to these three.
He's got to get close coming into these S turns that he's been so quick in. So if there's any sort of mistake from Coldenhoff, he can capitalize.
If he's close, it's going to be in the opposite part of the racetrack here, back into that right-left. He left the door open there. He's been going inside here, Coldenhoff. But fortunately this time for him, I don't think Gajser's close enough to execute. He gets close, but he's not close enough to make it happen this time around. Slows it down. Does the Dutch rider, gets clean drive. Both riders get clean drive out of there. Again, the Hoff goes defensive. Will Gajser go outside? He does. He's got nothing else to lose, but there was a back marker right there in his line of sight. The final climb before we plunge back down behind the pit lane area. Can't afford to leave the door open at the end of this straight. This is going to be for second overall for Coldenhoff. He was second overall at Majora, round 3. Oh, Gajser, is he going to get alongside him? I think he is. No, not able to. He still might make things happen here. He cuts back to the inside, but Coldenhoff holds on to take second. Jeffrey Herlings goes 1-1, puts distance between himself, Febvre here, and Gajser. And he is going to not finish on the podium, Romain Febvre. That was a massive opportunity loss for the Frenchman.
Yeah, tough race there for Febvre. He'll be thinking about that one until we line up again on Wednesday.
So Jeffrey Herlings wins the race from Coldenhoff. 1.4 seconds between the two Dutchmen. Gajser third, and then Febvre and Siwa. This here could have ended in tears, but this was a decisive pass from Herlings on Gajser that allowed him the clear track to close down on Coldenhoff, who found his way down the inside of Febvre. to take over the lead. Herlings then just skipped over that hole over on the right-hand side, closed down Febvre, took over second position, and then he was able to close down on the Hoff to take over the lead as well. Gajser also decisive around that part of the racetrack, nudged Febvre wide. I'm sure the Frenchman didn't like that, but it had to be done.
Well, and I think they could sense the vulnerability in Febvre too, so they just had to force the issue there.
Pass for the lead at the top of the hill. Herlings already committed to the outside, hoping for a mistake from the Hoff. There was a slight bobble coming out of the turn, and that was the difference right there. And then running towards the line, the battle for second between Coldenhoff and Gajser. Wasn't able to sneak up the inside. Herlings won the race. Number 185 in the books now for Jeffrey Herlings. What a Grand Prix.
Well, that was the race we were hoping for in race one. And yeah, I mean, every time they seem to have Jeffrey Herlings on the ropes, he fights his way through it.
All smiles down there between those guys. But here's Lisa with Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations, your 185th race win there. That race was so exciting to watch, and you were a big part of it. How was it from your seat?
It was a demanding one. The first moto I had to fight for the one, but this one I had to fight even more. Like, we got bar banging on the start, and then I was around 15, I think, on the first lap. I was like, okay, I got my work cut out, and I see Febvre up the lead, and Glenn and Tim just in front of me. I was like, okay, now it's go time. So I played it smart. I kept my jokers for the last few laps, so I managed to win this moto. And yeah, number 97 on GP wins, 183, 185 moto wins, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's good. You know, I'm closing in. So it was a good day for the championship as well. So looking forward to Wednesday. For me, the gate can already drop. You know, I feel like I want the gate to drop again any second. So I want to thank Red Bull KTM race team for the good job, and looking forward to Wednesday.
Great job. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Yeah, 185 race wins, but the reason why he said, 183, 185 is because a couple of years ago when we used to have the super finale, he won his class but didn't cross the line ahead of any MXGP guys. So technically 183, but 185 if you count those two class wins from MX2. Who cares? It's a lot of race wins. And he has now extended his championship lead over Romain Febvre from 12 to 24 points as we head into round 15. But what a fantastic race that was. Official confirmation then from MX2 Race 2. Jeffrey Herlings wins it by just about a second and a half over Glenn Coldenhoff. Tim Gajser third, Romain Febvre fourth. He'll be kicking himself. Jeremy Seawood fifth, Benoit Paturel sixth. Ben Watson and Tom Cock rounding out the top eight. Mattis Borromei 9, Valentin Guillot. Good ride for the Hostetler Yamaha rider. 11th for Henry Jacobi, Paul Jonas, Brian Bogers, Sean Simpson and Lupino rounding out the top 15 ahead of Thomas Gehr-Olsen, Jorge Prado, Arno Tonas, Jose Butron and Lorenzo Lacurcio. JD Gonnex KTM. What a big win that was for Jeffrey Herlings. 2 race wins, 50 points on the board. Coldenhoff splitting him and Gajser. Febvre missing the podium. The championship is still wide open, but Herlings distancing himself here today. Seawood, 5th overall. And in the championship, 26 now separate the number 84 from the number 3. Gajser closing in once again on second position. He would have loved to have closed in on Herlings, though, if he could. Prado, Cairoli, no change, in fact, in the top 8 positions. Manufacturers Championship, no change there either, as you were.
Un pomeriggio incredibile, sia la classe MX2 è stata spettacolare che anche la classe MX1.
Take a look at the Fox Holeshot, shall we?
E poi
riders went down at the first turn, but it was Henry Jacobi, aka Kevin, JM Honda Racing. And you know what? Privateer Honda picking up a Fox Holeshot in MXGP. Not bad going. He takes his first of the campaign.
incredibile che la MXGP ci propone. Conclude quindi questo primo weekend, prima di dimenticarmene.
Always an animated podium here at Trentino. Guess what? We've still got 2 more rounds to go here. Back on Wednesday and then again on Sunday, as this championship title race in MXGP continues to boil over. Third overall, Tim Gajser. A lot of Slovenians made the short trip across for the HRC rider as he mounts the podium. Third overall here today with a 4th and a 3rd. Glenn Coldenhoff, Monster Energy Yamaha. Probably the best 40th wedding anniversary present for the boss man, Louis Vosters. 2nd overall for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. 2 solid rides, a 5th and a 2nd. He led the final race. But Jeffrey Herlings, win number 97, in the books now for the Bullet. His 129th podium appearance. He moves clear. He's doubled his lead this weekend from 12 to 24 points over Romain Febvre. And that is a big win for Dirk Grubel as well. And Banksy, more than happy. Gianfranco Pasqua, the MC Arco president, handing the 3rd place trophy to Tim Gajser. What can we expect on Wednesday, I wonder? Patrick Reutiens, the FIM CMS Bureau member, handing the 2nd place trophy to Glenn Coldenhoff. But for the winner, Jeffrey Herlings, on the top step again here, Trentino. 5 wins here now. For Herlings, he becomes the most successful winner around this Trentino circuit. Cairoli on 4, Gajser on 4. And Dirk Grubel taking another team trophy on behalf of that Red Bull KTM squad. Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM CMS director, handing the championship leaders red plate to Jeffrey Herlings as he continues to lead as we head to round 15. National anthem time for Jeffrey Herlings and the Netherlands. KTM winning manufacturers this weekend. National anthem time for Austria as well. The MXGP of Trentino here ends with Jeffrey Herlings on the top step of the podium for Red Bull KTM for the 97th time in his career. Glenn Coldenhoff, 2nd overall for Monster Energy Yamaha. Tim Gajser, Team HRC, 3rd overall here at the first instalment of this triple header here in Trentino. We will catch up with those three in just a few moments' time, but before we do, here's the highlights of MXGP Race 2. It was an absolutely epic encounter. There was drama at the start. 3-4 riders tangled coming out of the gate. 3-4 more cartwheeled into the first turn. Bogers, Olsen, Nick Strybos was in there as well. But it was Henry Jacobi who grabbed that all-important Fox Holeshot, and Romain Febvre second, with Coldenhoff third. Gajser and Herlings were buried in around about 12th, 13th place. They needed to work hard as Febvre took over the lead. There you see them in the opposite direction. Coldenhoff quick to pass Jacobi as well, to move into second place. He then mounted an attack on the leader as Siwa cleared Jacobi. Herlings got alongside Gajser to move into third, and these were all closing in on Febvre, who didn't know which way to look as Coldenhoff took over the lead. Herlings then moved into second. Febvre then came under attack, literally, from Gajser, who made that pass to put the Frenchman into fourth. Top of the hill, round the outside, Jeffrey Herlings moved into the lead to take over the top spot. He went on to win. Coldenhoff hung on for second from Gajser. Febvre fourth, but Herlings your overall winner.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. 50 more points for you. You've doubled that championship lead. Perhaps not the best start, so you really had a lot of work to do in both races.
Yeah, definitely. So it was a tough one, both motos, especially the second one. But we got it together to get a 1-1. You know, this is going to be a very important week. I mean, it's Racing No, and we have 4 more races within 17 days, and the championship is already up. But I'm feeling good right now, so looking forward to the next multiple races here in Italy, and hope to keep pounding on to good results. And I want to thank Red Bull KTM Racing for the great job. The competition was very strong today, so I love battling with the guys. They're all super strong, so it was a good day.
Great job. Thanks, Jeffrey. Second overall today, we have Glenn Coldenhoff. Glenn, one of the best rides we've seen all season from you. Okay, you lost that lead, but it's good to see you on the podium again. It's been a tough few rounds, so this is a fantastic day for you.
Yeah, I think people are surprised seeing me up here. You know, I've been struggling mostly all season, and it's a terrible feeling. But you know, we never give up fighting. The team has done a great job. We kept working. We never give up, and yeah, seems we're back here, and I feel like that's where I belong. So really happy with this performance. Seems like the track suits me well, and luckily we have 2 more rounds here, so it's looking good.
Great job, thank you. Third overall today we have Tim Gajser. Tim, not the best start, but a fantastic charge in that second race. You've got on the podium, your fans are happy, but you don't seem very happy.
Of course I'm a little bit disappointed, but anyway, riding was good. It was a bit tight, you know, it was not easy to make a pass. You really have to be aggressive. What maybe I was not enough, but anyway, you know, going home with the podium, we still have 2 rounds here, and then 2 more, so I will give my best, you know. So I want to say a huge thank you to all my team, everybody around me, and of course all the fans that came, so thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Tim Gajser, third overall today for Team HRC. Maybe not aggressive enough, is what he said. So he's a little bit disappointed, but they will all go back to the drawing board. They will look at the data, they will look at the races and see where he can maybe improve on Wednesday when we return again for round 15. Good effort from Glenn Coldenhoff on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Hasn't been on the podium since round 3 in Italy, where he was also second at Maggiora. So to come away here, second overall, a step in the right direction for the Dutchman. But Jeffrey Herlings arrived here 12 points clear of Romain Febvre. He leaves here 24 points clear of the Monster Energy Kawasaki man. And Jeffrey Herlings, the Red Bull KTM rider with just 4 rounds to go, is in a good position as we come back here on Wednesday. Win 97 in the books now for the Bullet. And of course, we will be back here on Wednesday. So thanks for your time and company. Hope you've enjoyed the action today. It has been an absolute belter. We'll see you at the MXGP of Pietramarata here on Wednesday. We'll see you then.